Well, Sky's correspondent Mollie Malone reports. And just a warning, it does include references to suicide.
Kienna Dawes, Kelly Sutton, Jessica Laverack, 3 young women who took their own lives after a history of domestic abuse. It is a tragic trend, as a new report shows suspected domestic abuse suicides have become more common than being killed by an ex or current partner.
That place is just horrendous, where you cannot see a way out.
Deborah Jones runs a charity in Barnsley, working with domestic abuse victims from across the country.
We've got a lot of women that come to us for support, and I want to say that 90% of them have had suicidal thoughts, and there's a large number that have made attempts because they just can't see any other way out of the situation that they've got into. And then it's kind of like once they've reported something that is happening to them, they're not being protected.
We joined a support session to hear the perspective of victims. Their identities are disguised to protect them. As we talked, they described the relentless torment of their abuse, being dismissed as mentally ill, feeling like they've run out of options, while living with guilt, fear and blame. We've been here for a couple of hours now, hearing from people with experience of domestic abuse. Many say they felt completely helpless. They've described feeling isolated and alone, and that they're being passed between systems and services that all fail to help them. At Cheshire Police Headquarters, the team here work to review deaths that happen in a domestic setting.
Of the cases that we have ongoing at the moment, 83% relate to apparent suicides following domestic abuse.
Their job is to look at how different agencies can improve their response to domestic abuse, identifying the factors that can lead to suicide to help prevent future deaths.
Coercive and controlling behaviour is by far the highest risk indicator for domestic suicide.
Do you think there's an understanding of what coercive control is?
I think it can be difficult. The other one is separation as well. Separation is really high risk.
Police say it's high risk because the victim might be alone after a relationship ends, making them feel vulnerable, while a perpetrator can become persistent.
They can't let it go. They just want to make the lives a misery.
Just relentless.
It is, yeah. And again, we lock them up, they get sent down a couple of years, and then they're still doing it from prison.
While out with an officer doing welfare checks on victims that have protection orders in place, we saw how.
What do you think would stop him doing it? What do you think would stop him contacting you?
I don't know, really.
Do you think they work?
No, nothing works, not even this restraining order.
In the majority of domestic abuse suicides, either the suspect or the victim had been known to the police and to other agencies. Do you accept things are going to have to change with policing, with other authorities, with other agencies, if we're going to stop people from taking their life after domestic abuse?
There's an awful lot for us all to do, and we were really, really keen that we work together to understand how we can prevent these sad deaths, whether they're suicides or homicides, and what we might do to ensure that, you know, every victim receives the best possible response from us.
The government say domestic abuse-related deaths are a devastating tragedy. To stop more from happening, they want coordinated action between authorities, an improved understanding of the links between domestic abuse and suicide. Campaigners call it the cruelest of crimes, while all agree that change is what's needed. Mollie Malone, Sky News.
And if you've been affected by that story, you can contact the Samaritans anytime on 116 123 or email joe@samaritans.org.